Okay, so what we're going to talk about right here is what happens with a growth factor and how it's going to affect the sequence, okay? So what the power focus area quiz questions are going to ask you is about initial value and growth factor, and it's going to ask you what happens to the sequence. So it's going to say something like what happens to, what term will be the highest, or is the graph going to increase or decrease, and why, okay? And we're going to go over that. So we're going to first talk about an initial value below 1. So we're just going to pick a number, and I'm going to start with 0.5, because that's a number below 1, okay? And a growth factor below 1. Growth factor, we'll just keep it 0.5, okay? Remember, growth factors are geometric sequences, so we're going to multiply. So I'm going to start with 0.5, because that's my initial value, and I'm going to multiply it by 0.5, okay? So my first number is, my initial value is going to be 0.5. And then you see my second number is going to be 0.25, which is actually smaller. We're going to take that and we're going to multiply it once again by our growth factor, 0.05. Or excuse me, 0.5. Okay, and we get 0.125. It's still getting smaller. Okay, and then we're going to multiply it one more time, and we get 0.0625. So as you can see, it starts at a half and it goes all the way down to like 0.06. So this is gonna decrease, okay, and this is gonna go down, okay? Now we're gonna look at, let's say the initial value is above 1 and our growth factor is below 1. So I'm gonna start with, let's start with 1.5 and a growth factor of, let's keep it at 0.5. Okay, we're going to see what happens. So our initial value is 1.5. Okay, I'm going to clear this, and we're going to take 1.5 times 0.5. Okay, and that gives me 0.75. So now we're less than 1. Okay, and it's going down. Times 0.5. Okay, 0.375. We're still going down. One more time. 0.1875. So that's also going to go down. Common thing here, both growth factors are below 1. So both growth factors are below 1. These both will decrease. So as the more terms we have, like here we have 4 terms in both of these. If we had 6 terms, it would get even lower. 7 terms, it would get even lower. Okay? So now we're going to talk about with the growth factor above 1. Okay, so let's say our initial value is below 1, so we're going to start with 0.5, and our growth factor is above 1. Let's make it 1.5. Okay, so our initial term, our initial value is going to be 0.5, and I'm going to take the calculator, and now I'm going to multiply all these by 1.5. So clear it, 0.5 times 1.5. Okay, so now it's getting bigger, 0.75. That's more. That's 50 cents for 75 cents, okay? We're gonna multiply it by 0.5 again. Okay, excuse me. So 0.75 times 1.5, my bad. Okay, 1.125. It's now above $1. Okay, one more time. 1.5 times 1.5, and I get 1.6875. Okay, so now our graph is, our sequence is going to be increasing. It's getting more. Okay, we're getting higher. Last one, growth factor above 1, growth initial value above 1. So we're going to start at 1.5, and we're going to grow by 1.5. Okay, so our initial value is 1.5. Okay, and we're going to multiply all those by 1.5. So 1.5 times 1.5. Enter. 2.25. Okay, multiply that times 1.5. Enter. 3.375. More, it's getting bigger. Times 1.5. 5.0625. So this is going to increase. So when the growth factor is above 1, it's going to increase. So the lower numbers are going to be like in our first and second term, and our higher numbers are going to be like our 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th term. It's going to keep increasing the more terms we get. Okay? Good luck, everybody. Good. How long was it?